Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is BroncoJuggalo, and we are discussing today a top 10.
And this is Bill. Yes, we are discussing. Okay.
We are doing our top 10 artists, bands, singers, whatever you want to call it there.
Yes.
Our top 10 musical acts, artists, and our favorite album from those artists.
Yes.
Now, this crosses over all genres throughout our entire lives, everything. So there's going to be some stuff on here that you might find surprising.
I think so, because I called him about this and said, and then he's all, what genre of it? Like, no, not a specific genre, just your top 10.
Well, like I said, I can get fucking 20 lists out of this fucking topic.
It's a hard one to go with, but I thought not just the top 10, but the album too.
So, total crossovers. We're just going to go over it here. We don't have the albums in front of us, but that's because honestly, I know I can say I own every one of these albums.
I own all
I'm
mine.
pretty sure you do too. It's just that we just don't happen to have them with us. It's been a long work week. I'm tired and I didn't bring my albums over. And I wasn't going to pull them out of the books anyways.
Yeah, that would take way too much time to gather all that shit.
So this list wasn't too difficult for me because I've always known most of the bands I love. But it really was hard narrowing it down to 10. There's a lot of bands that should be on this list that aren't, and I love them just as much as the bands that are on this list probably.
Yes.
But it just, I had to pick and choose. Like, unfortunately, I can't believe I'm fucking saying this, Ozzy didn't make the list.
I
almost made the list.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it
back
with
and
you.
forth, he almost made the list, but I was thinking, well, of the bands that I don't have on this list yet, who do I like more? And it just, I had to edge them out.
But it's our own life experiences too that influence these lists.
Yeah. So I'm going to start off, if you don't mind.
Okay, go for it. Number 10.
Coming in number 10, we have Metallica, the Black Album.
Oh.
Or self-titled album, technically, is what it was called. It was just Metallica.
Yeah, but it got coined as the Black Album.
Yeah, I think even the band calls it that now, but I'm not 100% on that.
Yeah.
I've heard them say
great album, and most people would say, "Oh my God, you're copping out, man!
Oh,
the
fuck
Black Album, the Black Album, really?
Fuck that.
All the mainstream people love the Black Album."
I argue that the Black Album, and I have lots of friends that tell me the same thing. Not like that though; they're nicer than that.
Yeah, but they so with you.
Jason tells me I'm fucking on crack. Because he likes the older shit too. So do a lot of friends I have.
Yeah.
But for me, no. The Black Album is when they had their
It's
best
an amazing
music.
album.
They sounded the best. I don't care if it's because Rick Rubin did it or not, or whoever did it. I can't remember. I think it was Rick Rubin. But they sounded phenomenal, and I love that album. You know what's funny? Reload almost made the list instead of Black Album. Reload to me
Load and Reload are not bad albums. I
Reload,
don't
and
give
Black,
a fuck what people say. They are not bad albums.
Load, Reload, and Black were my true introduction to Metallica.
Dude, I agree.
My high school years, the formative years of music that you want to call it, those were the albums that were out of the time. That's why I love them. The other albums, I listened to them over time, but I was not a huge Metallica fan growing up. It wasn't until high school that I got into Metallica.
No, there you go, man. There you go.
And I've got a few albums on here that people are going to be like, wait, you like this one better than that album?
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah,
I do too, probably.
So, then again, we'll have some that are going to be, okay, I get it.
Yeah, but that's your preference, and that's their preference.
So who's your number 10?
My number 10, the Tossers.
Almost made my list as well, but
they are amazing.
They're an amazing group. I love them.
I don't know where to put them because they sound like pub music.
They're Celtic punk. They're Celtic traditional punk.
But they sound like pub music too, like old school pub music.
Yeah, they're an Irish group that plays some traditional ballads and like a more upbeat tune sometimes not. And even they do traditional songs. They do,
yep.
And then they do their own songs that are like mixed with punk, and their lyrics are punk-esque. And,
oh yeah.
They're an awesome band, and they predate bands like the Flogging Mollies and the Dropkick Murphys. People don't know that, but they do.
Yep.
In fact, the only Celtic band that I know of that isn't like older than them is older than them is the Pogues.
Oh, the album that I love the most from them, The Valley of the Shadow of Death.
That is an amazing album, and probably my favorite from them as well.
What's your number 9, man?
Alright guys, my number 9 goes back to my straight up gangster rap roots, and that is Dr. Dre's The Chronic.
Nice!
Dr. Dre's The Chronic is probably my... Okay, and this is where this list gets weird, because we said our favorite artists and their best our favorite album from them. But Dr. Dre is not, and there's 4 rappers on this list. Dr. Dre is not my 4th favorite rapper. He's actually probably like my 5th or 6th. But the Chronic album was so fucking inspirational that Dr. Dre's The Chronic and that album just, it's got to be on this list. It is the album that made gangster rap what it is, in my opinion. Even more so than Straight Outta Compton. Even more so than fucking Eazy-E, whatever. Yeah, this is the album. Dr. Dre is hands down the fucking godfather of gangster rap. I don't care what anybody says.
Hey, and if you go with the gangster rap stuff, you can't leave Esham out of there.
No, but
Esham was one of the pioneers as well. He just
Esham
never
was
went mainstream.
Esham was the horrorcore pioneer more than...
Yeah,
not
but
horror.
still.
I hate that wicked shit. Acid rap.
No, yeah, he coined both terms. Wicked shit and acid rap.
Yeah.
But hey, you can't leave him out of there. And I know too many people that, oh, I love rap. Oh, do you like Esham? Who's that?
Watch this fucking...
How the fuck do you not know who Esham is?
I watched this quote-unquote like news story on ICP the other day.
Oh,
and I was like, obviously you don't know what you're talking about if you can't pronounce the album titles right and you can't pronounce the artist right. This one guy called him Esham.
Esham?
And the Great Milenko was the Great Milenko. Milenko, yeah.
Sounds like we're...
he didn't even know what he was talking about, because so obviously he was just reading off of the script.
Oh, Lord. Heaven have mercy, help us.
Yep.
All right, my number 9. I don't know what the fuck to call these guys. Primus.
Really?
Sailing.
Primus is in your top 10?
Yeah, they're at number 9, dude. They are so bizarre.
They're a rock group. I mean, I would call them a rock group.
I don't know what to
and
call
I would
them.
also call them...
They are bizarre as fuck.
I would call them alternative rock. I really would, because that was kind of the genre they came out in.
Kinda, but you listen to these albums, it's just, what the fuck were these guys thinking?
Yeah, I took a sneak peek at your list there. There's a couple there. I was like, what the fuck?
Hey, it speaks to me. Album for Primus, Sailing the Sea of Cheese. These guys are just fucking bizarre as fuck.
Well, it can't be any worse than chocolate starfish and hot dog flavored water from Limp Bizkit. Which, by the way, and this made me sound weird, but I didn't realize that chocolate starfish was a nickname for a butthole until I was about 38. So last year. I didn't realize they were talking about a butthole when they named the album.
Speaking of Limp Bizkit, have you seen Fred Durst?
Lately? They're doing a comeback. They're doing a tour.
That dude did not age well.
He's doing all right. He looks about the same.
That dude did not age well.
He just did a movie too. He did really well in a movie directing, starring. God damn it! What's his fucking name? The guy from Grease, Johnny Travolta.
John Travolta.
John Travolta. There you go.
John Travolta. But anyways, Primus is just one of those. They are a weird fucking band. Like, where did this band come from? And how did they actually manage to make it? But they did. you listen to any of their albums, you just go, what the fuck? Pork Soda was my second favorite album by them. Gotta grab a can, yourself a can of pork soda, you be feeling just fine. 'Cause there's nothing like sitting around the house swigging down them cans of swine.
Okay.
That was a song
Oh,
on
this
there.
is going to be a long ass video.
Well, then get going with your number 8.
Okay, number 8. My number 8 is another gangster rap album. And it is, in my opinion, the second quintessential gangster rap album and my personal favorite gangster rap album. We are talking about Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style.
Nice.
My favorite rapper of all time, outside of like ICP and that kind of genre. Snoop Dogg, I've been a fan of since I was a kid, and I fucking love him. And yeah, he's the homie.
Yeah, Snoop. Can't go without Snoop. He's an awesome guy. All right, my number 8 is NoFX, the punk band NoFX, and this is the one that it's a live album. I love their live album that is titled "I Hear They Suck Live." I hear they suck live. It's an amazing album, and I thought, well, this is kind of weird putting a live album on here, but out of all their albums, I loved it. It had a lot of their best songs on there that I love, like "Kill All the White Men." I love that song. That's just a funny ass song.
I'm not a NoFX fan. I've never liked them.
Hey, that's your choice, man. Like it's
I
mine.
was like I said, when I looked at it, I was like, really? NoFX? Okay, whatever.
Hey, it's your choice. It's my choice.
Right?
What's your number 7?
My number 7 comes straight from the King of Pop himself. It is Michael Jackson with Bad. This was the first or second tape I ever bought with my own money as a kid. When I was young, because this came out when I was young, like, I don't know, 8. I don't know when it came out. I don't know how old I was, but I was young. 6, I don't remember. But I remember I saved up every little penny I got, and I bought this one, and I bought a few years, no, my mom bought me that one. I'm not going to say who it was, because I don't want to talk about it. But yeah, okay, Michael Jackson Bad, that's my number 7.
All right, my number 7, I'm going with Pink Floyd. This was the first album I ever bought on vinyl, Dark Side of the Moon. That is an amazing album. I hear that, I've always heard that, yeah, you can watch this with, what's that movie? That you can play that album and it syncs with the movie.
I have no idea. Wizard of Oz?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know, I just heard something like that about Wizard of Oz.
Apparently you could play this album from start to finish. You have to keep restarting the album, but it actually syncs up with the Wizard of Oz. I don't know about that. Never done that. But still, I love Dark Side of the Moon. Everybody goes The Wall. I don't know why. The Wall's a great album.
I think Dark Side's better.
I do too. The Dark Side of the Moon, man, is just one trippy ass fucking album.
You know what I totally forgot to put on this list because they skipped my mind, and I can't believe they did because they're probably one of my favorite rock bands of all time.
Oh, you forgot one.
I forgot Aerosmith.
Oh, that was the
I
first
love
live
fucking
show I ever
Aerosmith.
saw. 9 Lives tour.
Do you remember buying me that album?
No.
You
Did
bought
I?
me 9 Lives, yeah.
I did?
Yep.
Oh shit, that
You
was
gave it to
long
me
ago.
like for my birthday.
That was long fucking ago. Holy
I
shit.
can't believe I forgot Aerosmith. Aerosmith has been such a huge influence on me musically that I can't believe I forgot him. I just can't believe it.
Yeah, it's alright.
They're not on the list because I forgot them, or they would have probably been at number 9 or 10, somewhere in there. Okay, so number 6 for me is another one people probably are going to be like, really? Yep. Bryan Adams, Reckless, 1984 album. This album has some of his biggest hits on it, and The guy's an amazing singer. He's an amazing fucking guitarist.
And to this
it's
day,
a really good fucking album.
and to this day, the Canadian government is still apologizing.
Shit, they wish. You ever see that other thing they did where they showed the Canadian income, like and 90% of it was Bryan Adams?
Yeah, that was funny as fuck.
So that's it for my number 6, Bryan Adams, Reckless.
All right, my number 6 is System of a Down, Toxicity. Love that album. Love System of a Down. We heard rumors about them getting back together, doing a tour, doing another album, and here we are today.
No, that's not going to happen. They hate each other.
Yeah, they do. Yes, they do. But again, another band that is just, where did this band come from? They were just out there. They weren't traditional. That's why they made my list.
Coming in at number 5 for me is my absolute favorite non-80s metal band of all, or singer, whatever you want to call it, of all time, because it's both technically. Marilyn Manson.
Okay.
The album Hollywood and the Shadow of the Valley of Death. Yes, I know most people will say Antichrist Superstar. Some may even say Mechanical Animals.
No,
But for
not me.
it's always been Hollywood. When I bought Hollywood, okay, now what turned me on to Marilyn Manson was Beautiful People, Antichrist Superstar. But Hollywood was the first album I bought. It just came out. I fucking loved it. I played that song, the album, in my old Discman. This is back in the day, remember, high school. In my Discman, I played that album over, and I still have the same album. And it still fucking works, believe it or not. But it does have some scratches and shit on it now. But yes, Hollywood. And during that year, I was rotating between that one and Korn. Back and forth. And Korn almost made this list too, so did fucking, there's so many people that could be on these lists, man. It's hard to narrow it down.
You gotta get it down to 10. Gotta get it to 10.
We do. Maybe I'll do an all metal list. They might be on there. We'll see.
Hey, maybe we'll do one. Alright, my number 5. I'm going my underground rap. Blaze You Dead Homie. And my favorite album, The Undying G. Now, what's funny about this, the first time I listened to this album, I did not like it at all. I hated this album. And then I listened to it more and more and found that this was an amazing fucking album. It's about him being Colton Grundy.
The album was called Colton Grundy.
Yeah, they almost did call it.
No, the album was called Colton Grundy.
No, it was The Undying G.
It was Colton Grundy.
Why does it say on my case The Undying G?
Because he didn't go by Blaze On, he went by Colton Grundy. It was a one-off album.
Okay, it's a one-off album that has 2 names.
Because, well, I mean, technically it was by Colton Grundy. But because he was Blaze Dead Homie, he was Colton Grundy, The Undying G. That's why, so whatever, doesn't matter.
Whatever. I love the story with this album that he is fucking Colton Grundy from DC. I love Blaze. The only thing...
Solomon Grundy.
Oh yeah, Solomon Grundy. But Blaze, stop being fucking lazy and give us shit faster.
He's been doing a lot of projects with like other people lately.
Yeah. But still, sometimes he takes a while.
Coming in number 4 is a very, well, not recent, in like the last 2 years, something like the last 10 years for me. One of my favorites, and he's a really good friend. I interviewed him on the channel, Buckshot. You know, finding Buckshot was kind of like finding ICP again back in the day for me. And
okay.
It really changed a lot of the way I am with my current life and my adulthood, so to speak, my now adulthood. But the album is Weirdo, and I fucking love that album.
Amazing album. Thank God they gave that album Underground Album of the Year.
And it's just, that album has something for me on every level what I feel. Every spectrum, and it's a perfect album.
It is. That is 100% perfect.
And the only reason he's number 4 and not number 2 on the, or 3 on this list,
Yeah.
is because it's not just rap. It's he would be my number 2 rapper of all time. So.
All right. My number 4, Iron Maiden with the Number of the Beast. Love Iron Maiden. I've only got to see them once live.
I've seen them twice.
Ooh, whoop-de-doo. But amazing band. I don't know whatever happened to their private plane, Ed Force One. I don't know if they still have it or not, or if they've upgraded, but that was just too cool. A band that has their own private plane.
Well, that started with Zeppelin. Zeppelin had a private plane, and that's where everybody got the idea to do that.
Yeah, but still. And the Number of the Beast, it's like, this is just an iconic album. 666, the Number of the Beast. It is
Very awesome
amazing.
album. Coming in at number 3 for me is one of my favorite bands of all time, Motley Crue. Motley Crue, and the album, and this was tough too because
What
I was
album?
back and forth, but
What
the
album?
album is Dr. Feelgood. Motley Crue, Dr. Feelgood came out when I was living in Germany. My dad bought it. I jammed it over and over and over again all the time. Came back to the States like a summer and a half later, met you. Either I bought it for you for your birthday or your dad bought it for you for your birthday.
I think it was
can't
you.
Remember.
I think it was you.
Somebody, and you liked it, and and it's just an awesome album.
It's
like their, and Motley Crue was always known as like the dirty, raunchy band, and it's like their dirtiest. So
Yeah.
at that time, so I love that album.
Oh, hell yeah. All right. My number 3, Metallica, Black Album. Love the Black Album. I know, I've already said, people say, oh, no, that's not your band. You just being one of those posers. No, the Black Album is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
From start to finish. This is one of the few albums I could say is amazing. Every song.
There's not a
start
single bad
to
song on
finish.
the album. You're right.
Nope, not one.
There's not one that's just kind of like, okay.
In all their other albums, I've not found an album other than that one that I love from start to finish. Sorry, but everybody that hates on this album, go fuck yourself. This is a fucking amazing album.
Yes, it is. Coming in number 2 for me, guys, may be a shock to some, but number 2 for me is ICP, the Insane Clown Posse. Now, why are they number 2 instead of number 1? I'm Bronco Juggalo. I am everything Juggalo. I love Juggalo. I love ICP. Because there was a band that caught my heart before ICP when I was a little itty bitty kid that's never let it go.
There you
And
go.
they're still there. It's just, it's a different, Juggalo is a lifestyle. Juggalo is different.
Yep.
So, but if we're talking about my favorite musical bands and my musical albums,
Can I
there's
guess?
one album.
Can I guess?
No,
I haven't
because it's
seen
my number
yours.
1. You have to wait. Oh, you mean my ICP album? My
Yeah.
number 1. You
What?
can guess my ICP album. Go ahead.
Ringmaster.
No, Great Malenko.
Oh, wow.
Favorite album of all time from, I've said it a bunch of times. Ringmaster's the one that got me into it. But Great Malenko, once again, it's the Black Album from Metallica.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect album from start to finish, not a single down song. And I just, that's the one I think that meant the most to me, because growing up with my friends and things like that, that album meant a lot to all of us. Even guys that are no longer ICP fans that say, oh, I grew out of that or whatever. No, and that's a cop-out to me, but whatever.
No.
They still remember the times we had with this album, and they still love it. And to me, the times that this album represents is what makes it my favorite.
You're absolutely right. It is like the Black Album.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know people that they hate ICP. They hate them.
But they like the Great Malenko.
But they like the Great Malenko.
Mm-hmm. I hear that too all the time. Oh, I'm not an ICP fan, but I like those songs. The one, the game show song, where they're the dating game, and
Yeah,
they don't know the name for it, but they'll, or they'll be like, or that one, the Hocus Pocus, or people know the songs on that album.
Yeah. My number one and number two.
Oh.
My number one and number two, I honestly can't decide. I can't decide.
Cop-out.
No, it's not a fucking cop-out because I'm going to give the reason.
Pick one, motherfucker. Just pick one.
Shut the fuck up.
You can go back and forth. Pick one.
Shut the fuck up so that I can fucking explain.
Go ahead.
These two bands are so much alike in the fact that their stage shows always different. There's not, if you've watched these two, no stage show is the same. It's always different. Every live show is different. They have their own style. They have their own legacy. They have their own story behind themselves. So, now, your cop-out bullshit.
Just pick one.
I was about to say, you cop-out bullshitter. My number two will be Gwar. Gwar, if you've ever seen these guys live, it's just, whoa. Every show is different. It's just, what the fuck am I watching? I like it. Movies too. Both of these bands have done movies. And their movies are awesome. Except for Gwar's last film, It's Sleazy, that film's not that great. My favorite album from them is Scumdogs of the Universe. It is another album where it's like, it just really speaks to me. This album speaks to me. It is just, and the great Dave Brockie, God rest his soul, he was very outspoken. He was a very outspoken man. And very intelligent too. And thank God he chose to take out his frustrations by creating art, creating music, rather than doing something violent. Even though, Gore show. Violence on stage is very...
Controlled violence.
Yes, controlled violence. Nobody's actually getting hurt.
Except for the guy in the mosh pit that gets fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people get fucked up in those mosh pits.
Alright, my number one, guys. Some of you will know this, some of you will not. My number one is Bon Jovi.
I knew it.
Has been my favorite band since I was like...
Forever.
3. My father was into them, and of course that made me into them. And my favorite album from them is Slippery When Wet. You know, it's just an amazing album. It's another Metallica Black style album. There's not a bad song on it. In fact, honestly, I'm just saying this. I don't care what anybody thinks. You can't name a Bon Jovi album with a single bad song. They've never made a bad song. I mean, unless you just don't like Bon Jovi, they've never made a bad song. There's songs that I like less, but there's not a bad song. That's why they're still selling out arenas and one of the most popular bands of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Even with, their guitarist now being, retired, if you want to call it that or whatever. I get it. You want to spend more time with his family. Being on the road for 30 plus 40 years.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
Kind of putting the family to the side there, so. But yeah, Bon Jovi, and that wraps up my list, guys. Yep.
Alright, my number one is the Insane Clown Posse. This band just spoke to me in my time when I was, in high school and stuff. I was kind of an outsider, and they really spoke to me that bad things will come to people that deserve it, and you do have a family. You do have people that will love and respect you. It's not all about the fucking clicks and shit. What's popular. Because they weren't popular. You weren't living there. We didn't get to be our high school years with each other, all of them.
Not really, just off and on here and there.
Yeah. And so there was no one else besides me, and unless he was around, there was no one besides me in my high school that loved ICP, loved the messages there, that, be a good person, man. be a good person, or fucking some bad shit's gonna happen to you eventually. My favorite is the Ringmaster. I got into it with Malenko, but I love the Ringmaster more, honestly. It's my album. But again, just like Gwar, their stage show, never. How many have we seen? Over 12?
Oh, I've been ICP concerts alone. I've been to like 30 ICP concerts already. Just ICP alone. I've been to over, quote unquote, MNE, whatever those people that came out of Psychopathic album shows.
Yes.
But ICP alone, because there was the years I lived in Denver, I went to shows without you.
Yep.
Just together, we've probably been to 12.
Yeah, at least.
But like separate, I've been to a ton of fucking shows. No, we've driven across different states to go to ICP.
We have.
Because they were banned here forever.
Yep. Yes, we did. But you'll agree with me that not one show is the same.
Yeah.
It's all different.
They have some things that they do at every show, like throwing Fago. But they always have a different stage show. They always have like different costumes. They have different. They put on a different show, and it's a really awesome. Same thing with Gwar. They have some things that are the same. Like Gwar murders every president going back since like Reagan.
Yeah, the Reagan era. The Reagan
on
era.
all their fucking shows. They do that on all their shows.
Oh,
and
the only one I wish I would have gotten to see with Gwar, but this was before I started listening to him, the World Maggot, where they fed members of the audience to the World Maggot. I would have loved to have seen that live.
That would have been cool. And, bands like ICP and Gwar, they owe it all to two other bands. They owe it to Kiss, and they owe it to Alice Cooper.
Yep.
Those are the two that started the whole theatric thing.
They
really
did.
started it.
The real big theatrical thing. And fuck bands that, and a lot of them are from Sweden. I don't know, this theatrical thing is a big thing in Sweden. A lot of them try to say, Gwar stole that from us. No, Gwar's been doing this since the 80s.
Yeah.
They didn't steal that from you. You stole it from them.
Well, guys, that wraps it up for us. This is probably like an hour long already. Nobody's gonna watch it. It's too long.
Oh, fuck you.
All right, y'all. It's been fun though. Bronco Juggalo. Peace out.
And Bill saying good night.
Somebody should have told you I'm the wrong one. All fun and games until you see me with the shotgun. Homie, I'm the